in a car, lost car park, Nicholson Square, Edinburgh, day 5 of the Edinburgh Fringe. Sun is shining, day is young, and people are beginning to arrive ready for the day ahead, whether they're here for work or they're like me, here to see what is on offer at the festival. It's yet another day which is, exciting. Long, hard, tough, plenty to see, plenty to do. Looking forward to it, absolutely. But there's a couple of things over the last couple of visits that I didn't quite get to in my kind of updates at the end of the day. And I just want to touch on a couple of them. The first one is reviewers. I went to see a show, which I won't identify which one it is, but I thought it was kind of worthy. Wasn't slick, great, fantastic, something that made me go wow at all. But the effort was there, and it was a genuine attempt to do something a little bit different in terms of the normal narrative, not the cliched normal kind of stuff in terms of young people at a certain age want to leave a small town, small village mentality. And I did kind of enjoy it, and I said that in the review, and the review was, I thought, quite measured. So when I was out and about a couple of days ago, I came across their poster, and across the poster, rightly so, was a 5-star review with a quote from the 5-star review. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the line of how absolutely brilliant and wonderful and great this was. So your first initial impression is, was I so wrong? Of course it is, and it should be, because you should question yourself. And the second question is, well, who wrote the review? And I looked at the source of the review, and I've never seen it before. And I'll be honest, I haven't gone looking to see, who it might be, or who writes for them or whatever. I just found it difficult. Now, if somebody genuinely has that view of it, and has genuinely, from an independent point of view, put it on edfringe.com or put in an audience review. One of the things I love about, for example, Magic Gareth is that at the bottom of his email, he's got a quote from a 4-year-old who says Magic Gareth is the best magician I've ever seen, and I've seen 3. And I think that, that self-deprecation as a marketing tool is really good. Is this delusion? Is it some pal that said, I'll put that on and you can put it in your poster? Is that a genuinely held view from somebody within the profession who actually has experience in theatre? And I'm going to argue, probably not. Not because my view is more important than anybody else's. I've written reviews of things that people have vehemently disagreed with, that I've looked at the Stage and the Guardian and elsewhere and thought, my gosh, I'm so far away from what they think, but it's a genuinely held belief and view. But then there's the other side of that. Of course, if I'm in a show and somebody puts a 5-star review, I'm going to use the hell out of it. And it's one of the reasons why I like Fringe Review not doing star reviews, is because you have to, use a degree of your intelligence when writing them, because you have to come to a conclusion and form a view which therefore gives you, I think it's Paul Levy has said, for us, whatever we're writing, a lot of our reviews need a lot of bread to put the sandwich together. So the criticism's the bit in the middle, but the bread in the outside is about that positivity, about that support for the fringe theatre sector. Not being in a position, this is where I'm coming to, not being in a position where what you're doing is you are deluding people. you're selling them a pup, you're giving them some kind of impression that this is well worth it. And it's one of the things that I come to the next bit, because when they do have that belief in themselves that they are doing a brilliant job and they're not, the fall arrives. Now, it might not be at the Fringe in Edinburgh, it might be the Camden Fringe, it might be in pitching for something, it might be somewhere further down the line. And what that brings me to is the selling of the product. And it's one of the things that I thought very strongly about and considered, because as I spoke the last time, I was on a show and had a couple of young girls with a, thought was their grandmother. Apologies if my age related guess is way out, but a little girl at the age of 10, 11 or thereabouts, talking quite intelligently. And I remember having this conversation with Martin at Brockline, where he said, you know, our audiences have had tons of Shakespeare, they're intelligent enough, they're bright enough, they understand enough, we should not treat them as if they're stupid. And I can't agree with that anymore. We have. But there's also something particularly in this melee of 3,500 shows, that when people ask me for any recommendations, I just struggle. I don't know what to give them. I don't know what to say to them, because there's just so much. And I always go back to the cliche, which is take a risk. And therefore the media have a tremendous impact, input. And I now have resolved all my ticketing issues. And I've had a couple of ticketing issues this year. I think I referred to being refused entry at one point. That's resolved, all sorted, mainly by getting the editor involved and then getting the publicist involved, and having a chat with the venue. Now, there's every possibility that they may have sold me or given me a ticket that they can't get me in for because they've oversold it. I don't know. I'll probably find that out when I get there. It's not, I suppose, like a Travelodge who oversell rooms on a regular basis because people just don't turn up. But I hope not, and I hope I've not displaced somebody, and I genuinely hope not. It's not a do you know who I am moment. But this year I think it has been smoother. But then there's the app. It's been a help, massive help. I think I've said I've had to go between the app and the website in order to get my things resolved, my timing sorted. So the problems I've had, particularly, and this is one that does my head in, every year you come back and for the vast majority see the Space, Greenside, Assembly. It's the same email addresses. It's all very similar stuff. Darren Neal's back at Greenside. There are many new names elsewhere. But you kind of know who you're going to. So Underbelly this year, I applied for a ticket to go and see a show. And I turned up at the allotted time because it was my mistake. I hadn't realised, I hadn't checked whether the ticket was there, which is hands up. In 10, 1 wrong. Put me in the naughty step. So I'm there. Now they've gone, no, that didn't get through, don't have any tickets, yada yada yada, you can't have a ticket. Did I pout like a prima donna? No. Fine. What I was told was you need to send an email to comps@Underbelly. Never heard that before. Okay, I'll go and I'll do that. So I went away and tried to book in for the next time I was out and sent it to comps@Underbelly, but also sent it to press@Underbelly and every other email address I had, and I got an email response to say you need to send these to press@. So it was a supervisor who told me I needed to send it to comps@. Now this is first world problems. This is really not that huge. But then I get an email back saying, no, you have to send it to press at. Well, I did that. So after a day or so, I emailed again to go, have I been approved for this? There's been no response whatsoever, which normally happens very quickly. No, it's not on that day. Now, by that point, I was right up against it in terms of organising something else. So, not in a blind panic at all, but actually getting things sorted became a bit of an issue. But I did. Of course I did. People want to sell you tickets. People want you to come and review stuff. It's not ever going to be that much of an issue. First world problems. So then, where I ended up was I then asked for another date, final date. And I was looking for other kind of tickets for other things, and I got an email back that did actually tell me that I was supposed to email at comps@underbelly.co.uk. My point is, there's lots of conflicting information. Doesn't make it impossible. It means you have to be a wee bit more vigilant than you would normally be. And it's hardly tough. Again, 1 out of 10, hardly an issue. But if you're at Underbelly and you wonder why it is that you're not getting any reviewers, it might be conflicting information coming. We're a kind of dogged, rugged, determined bunch, it would appear, because I see lots of reviews of Underbelly stuff, so I don't think it's been that much of an issue. But the slightest thing can often make your job difficult, which means that you move off to do something else. So today, 11 shows, 2 new venues, which, different to the last time. 10 shows the last time, 7 new venues. Today is going to be a bit of a battle to get round absolutely everything, but hey, up for it. Not getting any younger. But it's good to be here. Speak later on.